For March 2015, this is CTA News and Review. Mayor Rahm Emanuel, Congressman Bobby Rush, and CTA President Forrest Claypool announced the CTA will expand its successful Second Chance program, which provides valuable job skills and career opportunities to Chicago residents who face challenges re-entering the workforce. The Second Chance program, offered to ex-offenders and victims of abuse and others, this spring will offer diesel mechanic training to program participants, teaching a career skill that will see significant demand here in Chicago and across the country over the next decade. Transit agencies expect to hire and train the equivalent to 1 to 1.5 times the current workforce over the next decade to meet the needs of growth, retirement, and turnover. Under Mayor Emanuel, the Second Chance program has quadrupled in size, becoming one of the largest programs of its kind in the country. Since May 2011, more than 500 have participated in the program, and more than 100 people have been hired full-time by CTA, and 7 have been promoted to management. The CTA announced it will begin the rehabilitation of the Addison, Irving Park, Montrose, Harlem, and Cumberland Blue Line stations in the fall, after the Chicago Transit Board approved the award of a $25.6 million contract to F.H. Passion and S.N. Nielsen. The station renovations are part of Mayor Emanuel's $492 million Your New Blue modernization project. The CTA expects to begin the rehabilitation of the Northwest Side stations in the fall. Combined, the 5 stations had more than 5.3 million station entries in 2014. The CTA will work to minimize impacts to customers during construction and will work closely with elected officials and community residents to notify them of any construction impacts to the neighborhood or to service. All stations will remain open during the construction period, except for a small number of weekend-only closures at Addison and Montrose. Your New Blue will update a total of 13 Blue Line stations, make elevated and subway infrastructure upgrades, track signal improvements, and traction power upgrades. The CTA in March began a major phase of the reconstruction of the Red Line's Wilson Station to rebuild the first of 4 100-year-old elevated track structures. The CTA will demolish the westernmost track that carries southbound Purple Line express trains on weekdays and fully rebuild the track in the next year. The CTA rerouted southbound Purple Express Line trains onto southbound Red Line tracks during weekday mornings to continue to provide same levels of service to customers on both the Red and Purple lines. The $203 million reconstruction project includes building a modern new station house, completely rebuilding adjacent century-old elevated track structure, and creating a new Red-Purple Line transfer station. The Wilson project will be completed by the end of 2017. The number of rides provided on CTA's rail system rose to 238.1 million riders in 2014, the highest level of rail ridership since the agency began tracking ridership in 1961. Last year was the 7th straight year in CTA history that the agency's bus and rail system provided more than 500 million rides during the year. This historic rail ridership in 2014 occurred during an unusual year that saw total transit ridership affected by a number of extraordinary circumstances, including Chicago's coldest, snowiest winter in decades, which led to a decline in bus ridership and a very modest decline in total bus and rail ridership combined. Construction began on 2 of 3 major transit infrastructure projects that will redevelop and modernize transportation throughout the city. The 3 projects, estimated to create approximately 650 jobs, include the newly named Loop Link Bus Rapid Transit, a new CTA bus terminal at Union Station, and a new Washington Wabash CTA-L station. Through the Loop Link, the city is improving bus routes that connect Chicago neighborhoods and downtown, ensuring residents who commute downtown for work each day by bus, train, bike, or car have a modern, more reliable way to get where they need to go. More information on LoopLink can be found at chicagolooplink.com.